Welcome to Commander's Comments. I am your producer for the evening, Harrison F. Dawes, and I'm joined by, of course, our Commander in Chief, Walter D. Donnie Kennedy, our past Chief of Heritage Operations, Mr. Ron Kennedy, and the illustrious, the I believe now past Texas Division Commander. You're
Correct.
running away from us, Michael Hurley.
Hey guys.
Hey, thank you. And of course, we have introduced us. I want everybody to realize we have Harrison Dawes, our Deputy Chief of Heritage Promotion, and he does a wonderful job. And he's the guy that's really responsible for a lot of our videos that we are being able to put out on our social media. And we're going to keep twisting his arm and keep those videos coming. And so we'll have one for just about every counterattack. Also, Ron is the chairman of the 21st Century Confederate Heroes organization or group. And Ron's going to give us an update on that. But first of all, and I'm hoping during this meeting, we will be joined by past Commander in Chief Jason Boshears, who will give us an update on the Forest Plaza and what's going on there. There's a lot of excitement going on there, and I'm very happy to see and be part of that. So we definitely want to be there. He is, I believe, at the, let's see, he was maybe at his camp meeting or a board meeting of the Sam Davis area. I don't know. But right now, for the last time, we're going to have the distinct honor of having the past commander of the Texas Division, Sons of Confederate Veterans, come and talk to us a little bit and give us a little update on the upcoming 130th reunion of the Sons of Confederate Veterans, which is going to be held in a little community just across the Sabine River. I think they call it, what, Ron? Houston, I believe. A little community.
I think so.
Yeah. So Houston,
right across from Lake Charles.
right across from Lake Charles. Lord, Commander, you're being ambushed by two Louisiana boys.
It's quite all right. Quite all right.
But I want to tell everybody, if y'all notice how finely his wardrobe is today, is he's just landed and coming back from, I believe, Utah. And he has his lovely wife, Tammy, with him. And I wish he'd show her more and him less, but hey there. So, and we will be seeing and talking with both Tammy and Commander Hurley at the reunion. But right now, Commander Hurley, if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit of what's going on, what we might need to know, some of the things that we really need to know. I think we'll be getting together Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday next week. It's your show, Commander.
Thank you, Commander. I really appreciate the opportunity one last time to kind of bring everybody up to date on the reunion. And I know that it wasn't necessarily on the agenda, but I wanted to just give a very brief update on the floods that have occurred in Texas. I've had a number of you from Tennessee, Alabama, one from Virginia who have reached out to me in concern for all the floods that went on. And I just can't hardly fathom the tragedy that some Texans have gone through with this flood. But I'm happy to report that, to my knowledge, none of our members were directly involved in loss of life. And so I'm very thankful for that. But my heart, and I know all of our hearts, the whole country, our hearts go out to those that were kind of taken by the very worst of, that Mother Nature could dish out from a flooding perspective. And our hearts and minds are with them. And if you guys don't mind, I'd like to lead just a very brief prayer on their behalf, and then I'll get right into the reunion. Is that all right, Commander?
Please.
All right. Lord God, I thank you so much for the avenue of prayer, for your wonderful word that teaches us the difference between right and wrong. And we know, Lord, that when our friends are hurting, you commanded us to care and to do what we can, both financially, with our talents, and with our times, to help those that are hurting. We pray, Lord, most of all, that there will be a salve of peace that will come upon those that are hurting and have had such great loss, both physical and, most importantly, the loss of life. We pray that you'll help us look for opportunities to serve. We're thankful that you spared our membership at this time. And we ask you to be with all of those that are bereaved. In the name of our only hope, the name of Jesus, amen. All right. Well, let me tell
Amen.
you about a much happier subject, and that's the 130th annual reunion. We are just days away from having an opportunity to gather together. And, I'm so excited about all that's going on in the reunion, gentlemen, but I think for me, what I enjoy the very most out of this reunion and every reunion is an opportunity to get together, to be able to strengthen those bonds of friendship and kinship that exist among us who are members of the Sons of Confederate Veterans, and the opportunity also around the table at lunch, for example, to share best practices of what's working in their camp to help strengthen other camps that are there. So I'm so looking forward to the fellowship and the opportunity to renew old friendships, and I pray many new friendships that will be made. Now, I wanted to share with you a couple of things. Most importantly, because it's rather difficult communicating this information in a timely fashion. But I know that there are a large number of individuals who will be bringing in their camp flags, and it's a tradition which we're going to continue to do in this year's opening ceremony, that we'll have a parade of our camp flags that are present. Now, what I wanted you to know is there's going to be a simple organizational meeting. If you're bringing your camp flag to be a part of the opening ceremony, and that meeting will occur in the grand ballroom, which is the main meeting room for all of our festivities. You will not be able to miss it. The grand ballroom of the hotel at 7:30 a.m. next Thursday, July 17th. Now, the opening ceremony begins at 8 o'clock. So I need everyone to be on time so that I can begin promptly at 7:30, get the basic information out that's necessary so that the parade will be organized, and then we'll start right after that at 8 o'clock. So again, if you're bringing your camp flag and you intend to be a part of the parade of camp flags, and I hope as many of you as possibly can, and all of you that are happen to be driving down to Houston will bring your camp flags, because those camp flags are a symbol of the work that goes on in each individual community. And as we've said so many times, haven't we? It's the local camp that is the lifeblood of our organization. And I want to have an opportunity to recognize as many camps across the Confederation as possible. So once again, it's got to be put in your registration packet very boldly, but I'm trying to get the word out in advance. Bring your camp flags, and we'll have a brief organizational meeting, 7:30 a.m. Thursday, July 17th. And again, the opening ceremony begins just a few minutes later at 8 a.m. on that same day. So please come be a part of this and bring your camp flag. And we'll have that brief meeting explain to you how it's going to work. It's not going to be complicated, but I believe it's going to be a beautiful opening ceremony. So, having said that, I want to move on to a couple other things. First, we have a few openings still left in some of our ladies' events. Our men have done so good in supporting the Texas division and participating. All of our tours are sold out, but I do have 3 spots left for the ladies tour, 3 spots. So if your wife would like to participate or you've thought about it, just know that there will be a availability to get involved on the ladies tour when you show up for your registration. Because right now we're past the deadline to register on the website. The only thing you can do right now on our website is go in and pay your registration fee, and then come attend the reunion. But all the other options to participate in different events have closed because had to get numbers to the caterers and numbers to the buses, et cetera, that are going to be transporting us around. But I still have 3 slots left over for the ladies tour. And the other item that I have is also for our ladies. I wanted to remind you we have debutantes that are going to be honored at this year's national reunion. And there's a debutante tea that occurs at the reunion. And we still have several slots. My wife's given me 5 slots still available for the debutante tea. Now, I know you may not have as we say, a dog in that hunt, because you may not have a friend that's going to participate as a debutante. But if your wife is going to be there and would like to come down and just encourage these young ladies that are going to live out kind of a dream of being presented at a Southern convention of the SCV, as a debutante. It's going to be a very special moment for the ladies that are participating, and we're asking for your wives to support them in that and make them feel as special as we want them to feel, because these are very special moments for these young ladies. So again, still time to register for both the ladies team for the debutantes and for the ladies tour. That's the only slots I have available that are still present for getting on board when you arrive at the reunion. So I want to make that clear. And then I've said to you every time, and I would imagine anybody that's flying has already made those arrangements, but if you happen to have not made flight arrangements yet and you're planning on flying, please remember, gentlemen, fly into Houston Hobby Airport. It'll save you about 30 to 40 minutes in drive time. And there's a free shuttle from the airport to the hotel. You just have to call the Marriott Hotel when you arrive, and they'll send a van to pick you up. So my point is, if you're still considering flying, please fly into Houston Hobby Airport, not the other airport there in Houston. So we're super excited, can hardly wait to see everybody. And it's really been about, going on almost 2 years of hard work that have poured into every aspect of this reunion. And we're really excited to kind of put our best face forward for you as hosts of the 130th annual reunion. And one last thing, I have the reunion t-shirts. I have all sizes are still available, and those will be available for you to pick up at registration. So if you've not gotten a reunion t-shirt, we've worked really hard to have an attractive t-shirt this year, and it's available for you to pick up at the reunion. Most people were planning on doing that anyway. I just want you to know I have all sizes available, not out of any of the sizes at this time, from medium all the way up to 3X. I just figured we didn't have too many men that were smalls, and if they were a small, they could go ahead and buy a medium. So anyway, if you're attending the reunion, please pick up a t-shirt, because every time you buy a shirt, it helps support the Texas division and make sure that this reunion is one that helps us raise funds to do the work here in Texas. So thank you for allowing me to be the chairman. I'm going to miss doing this work, but I'm looking forward to Kentucky, and I'm going to go to Kentucky, have a great time, and I'm planning on not lifting a finger. Any questions for me, Commander?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got I'm not the commander, but I'm his shadow. Quick question for the exhibitors. What time can they start setting up?
Yeah, exhibitors can start setting up 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning.
Terrific. Thank you.
And our first lieutenant commander, Mr. Jim Cox, is responsible for that. We've been in communication constantly, and he's well prepared. We've got a chart laid out where everybody goes and everybody sets up. So we're really excited about that, and I'm thankful for Jim Cox for the work that he's done, because he really took that totally off of my plate. And that's one of the few items that I haven't had my fingers in. So it's been really nice having that done. But yes, sir, 8 a.m. on Wednesday. I guess that would be June the 16th.
Good. Thank you, Commander. I appreciate it. And you and your wife, y'all need to get on back home. And I'm glad to have you back home down south and home in Texas. And we look forward to seeing you Tuesday, Wednesday. And let's have a great convention. So y'all get on home, be safe. And Miss Tammy, y'all, I'm looking forward to seeing y'all not only this coming week, but the following week at the Children of the Confederacy reunion.
Yes, sir. I'll be there too. Hey, guys, Come see us in Texas. We want to show you a wonderful time. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. All right. Now, since we don't have, looks like Paul is not with us yet. He must still be asleep over there on the East Coast, or he's probably out at Myrtle Beach with his feet propped up. He and Biden in a chair that's falling over at the beach.
Trying to set up a chair.
Hey, Biden from old age, and I don't know what Paul's got going that's falling over. But anyway, and Jason, we are looking forward to seeing Jason having his report later on. But right now, I want to get started. And Ron, you notice there was an interesting comment that the commander made about our count flags. So don't let me forget, I need to make a little statement about our Confederate Legion banners for our division flag. So anyway, let me get on to something that I got from Adam Southern. I asked Adam to send me a list and a kind of itinerary for the headquarters from starting in August. Obviously, our fiscal year starts in August, so starting in August all the way through December. So here's what's going to be going on right now. Come July the 26th at headquarters, and all of these are on Saturdays, if I'm correct. I believe I'm correct. On July the 26th, they're having a twofer. They're going to have a cruise in as well as a musical concert. You can go online and take a look at that, and that's going to be on the 26th. They said they got food trucks and vendors there from actually the cruise in starts at 9 a.m. and runs to 2 p.m. and then the music fest from looks like 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. So that sounds like a lot of fun. And remember, we are at the Southern Heritage Center, and we're promoting everything good about the South: food, music, culture, religion, you name it. We're there to promote it and protect it. And this is part of it. Plus, we get a lot of people coming into that our campus there, and that would probably never have come there. And once they get there, they are amazed at what they're seeing, and they will go through our museum. They'll go through Elm Spring. They'll visit the general and his wife's gravesite. So it's very important to have these type of events where you can really get a lot of people to show up there. So also the following on September the 6th, we will have a Confederate Legion training session. Ron, just give us a brief rundown of what you're expecting to do at your Confederate Legion, at our Confederate Legion training session.
Well, first of all, we're going to get started on time at 9 o'clock, and by 3 o'clock, we'll end up, and 3:30, you'll be out of there. It'll be at Elm Springs. We are planning on holding the registration no more than $15. So it's a cheap training session. We're just trying to cover the cost of the box lunches that generally at Elm Springs we go through, I believe, Chick-fil-A. But so it's not a money-making deal. We just want to cover our basic costs as best we can. The training, by the way, you can make your checks out to the Sons of Confederate Veteran, but in the memo section of your check, be sure you write in Confederate Legion training, or you can abbreviate CL training. So it makes sure that we keep up with it, because they get a lot of mail there at headquarters. Now, I'm not sure yet, and shame on me, I should have checked ahead of time to see if you can go online and pay with credit card. I'm sure you can, but I'm not sure where you go to online. There's so many choices. So, Commander, we've got to straighten that out.
Yeah, we are planning on sending an email out to everybody that's on our Confederate Legion email list. So we'll definitely have that information this week or next week, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Hopefully we'll get it out before next week, but you got to get that information to me so I can get
Correct.
it out on the newsletter. Now, why are we going through this training session? Well, it's because we want to be able to take advantage, and I'll talk about this a little bit in the 21st century Confederate heroes part, but we want to take advantage of this opportunity that we now have to get the initiation of a massive public relations effort nationwide, Southwide, across the South. There's a great opportunity now for us to do what we've been wanting to do for so long. That is to put our side of the story out, to undo a lot of the falsehood and outright slander, and hopefully become so well known. Not hopefully, but we will.
Yes.
Hope's not a plan, Donald. So
Yeah.
we're going
I've been told that. Yes.
We are going to become recognized nationally as the spokesman for Southern issues, Southern heritage, Confederate issues, et cetera, et cetera. The training session, you're going to walk away from there with some specific examples. This isn't a rah-rah meeting. This is a training session where you can go back to your camp, and this is how we need to promote heritage promotion, how we promote our heritage at the local level, at the state level, and occasionally through our one-click politics, be able to touch on some national issues. So the important thing is that we've got several speakers lined up. The two Kennedys, of course, but Paul Graham will be a speaker, and we'll break it up. We'll keep it moving. You're not going to have to sit and listen all day long to one person chime on and on. We've got it set up so it moves. There's breaks. There's a chance to visit a while. And next year, we want to come back, and we want you to come back and tell us some of your positive experiences you've had over the past years, prior year, utilizing some of these tools and examples that we're going to be going over and giving it to you. That's enough for that. I've got my turn coming up.
Okay, and one thing I want to mention here, and to kind of dovetail on to what Ron is saying here, this training session is for camp members. Now, when you're well trained in how to get our message out in front of John Q. Public, how to put up a good image for the SCV and the cause of the South in your local community, we want you to be the agent in your camp. Every SCV camp needs to have a heritage promotion individual, so that every camp that needs to have somebody train well on these tools that we have made available and are making available and are putting out there now, especially since we have the wherewithal to do a lot more in the, after this fiscal year ends. Then your camp needs to have somebody that knows what to do, when to do, how to do it, and that will push this agenda in your camp. Every camp, after you say your salutes and after the charge is given and you go over old business, new business, one of the items in new business is ask the heritage promotion guy what needs to be done now to get our message out in front of the people in the local community. Have we cleaned up a cemetery? We did. Okay. Did we get any pictures? Yes. Let's get those pictures now, and let's write just a little short byline, and let's email that to all the elected officials and various people in the community. Hey, you are taking an event that used to be just an SCV camp event that y'all would talk about at your camp, and now you're putting it out in such a way that every elected official, judges, attorneys, district attorneys, whatever, judges, sheriffs, mayors, aldermen, police jurymen, whoever you have in your community, they know that the sons of Confederate veterans are active in our community. Now, what does this do? Ron, what do you think is the result of that if everybody in your parish, which is a county down in Louisiana, would get that type of information on a routine basis? I'm not talking about just once a year.
Well, the one thing for sure, the next time the Black Lives Matter crowd or Antifa crowd comes to a police jury meeting, which would be county supervisor meeting, and demand the removal of a monument, our elected officials will say, no, that's not going to happen, because these monuments mean a lot to a lot of people who are very active. And, that's a problem. That's a controversy that we as politicians just don't want to get into. And very likely it will never get on the agenda for the public meeting. But if it does, it'll be nalprost in a hurry. So you are able to win in the court of public opinion. We don't need a lawyer to go to the court of public opinion. We need to do it ourselves, and we can. This is the one court that we can win in. The deep state's got the main big tentacles everywhere, but the populace, we can overturn that control that they have. And if we do these things, that use the tools that we have available and that we're making available and that we'll train people on, you'll see that there'll be a tremendous change in public attitude. Now, one other thing, guess what? It becomes a lot easier to recruit new members because now people know about the SCV, and it's not some radical group that's trying to secede from the union. It's not some radical white nationalist group. Nope. It's a well-founded, well-organized, patriotic group open to all descendants, regardless of their ethnic backgrounds, their religious background, and it will make it a lot easier. And too long we've been a well-kept secret. We are not going to be a well-kept secret any longer. And because we were a well-kept secret, the NAACP, Black Lives Matter, Antifa crowd have been able to compel weak-kneed politicians to get rid of things like the official flag of the state of Mississippi. I'll never give that up. That's not. We still need our flag back, even though I'm in Louisiana. But the monuments that's been removed, most of them been removed by so-called conservative politicians. They either allowed it or promoted it or allowed it. An act, a sin of omission or commission, either case, our conservative politicians allowed it to happen. But really, you can't blame them. We are the ones that allowed it to happen because we didn't get our message out. Okay, I'm going too far. Donald, I got to take an aside just very quickly. I see on the comments Jeremy Booth from the Bibb Rifles Camp in Alabama. And when I saw that, Donald, you know what I thought about? I think that's somewhere down around Bibb's Furnace, where when Donald and I were a lot younger, we used to reenact down there. I don't know if it is or not. Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. Now, getting back to Adam's email. All right. So we know we're going to have on September the 6th, starting at 9 o'clock, Ron, or 9:30?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. We'll get started with the Confederate Legion training session. Please, camp members, send one of your members to this event. And all you've got to do to register is to send a letter to headquarters saying, I want to be at the Confederate Legion training session. Here's my $15 check. You can make the check out to the Sons of Confederate Veteran. Please, please, please note it in your memo notation that it's for the Confederate Legion training session. Our staff at headquarters are not mind readers. They do not know what that check is for if you don't tell them. So please help them out so that we can make sure everybody is paid up and we have a box lunch for you and we got a seat for you, etc. Okay, so much on the Confederate Legion training session. On October, it looks like October the 4th, which is a Saturday, the headquarters, the museum will be open. We have our General Executive Council meeting, GEC meeting that day. We meet in the library there. There's limited seating. We seat, of course, the GEC members, and then any overflow, any member that's there that wants to sit in, you are welcome to come sit in. The only time that you cannot sit in, obviously, is if we go into executive session, and usually we don't stay in executive session very long. We'll go in, take care of the business that doesn't need to be made public, and then we'll report back to the division or the Confederation the results of that meeting, and then we'll move on, open the doors, let you come back in. So by all means, October the 4th, come on down. It'll be a good time to visit Elm Springs, the museum, visit the general, and visit President Davis over at his monument, and just get some photographs and meet, eat, and greet, and we'll see you on October the 4th. Now, the next thing I have is December the 5th. That's when you have your historic tours in the parish of Maury County there, in where the headquarters is located, and Elm Springs will be on that tour. The museum will be open on that day. We get a lot of people coming in for the tours because it's a tour of the whole, I keep wanting to say parish, y'all forgive me, county there. And there's homes, that beautiful home. My wife and I, about 2 years ago, we did a tour. I'd like to do it again this year. I don't know if we can, but I'm going to try my best to get up there and tour around. And by all means, tour Elm Springs and take a look at that. And the museum will be open, so that'll be in December. December the 5th. So 5th and 6th, December the 5th and 6th. I think the 5th is on Friday, then the 6th is a Saturday, if I remember correctly. So that is what Adam has given us for what's going on. And Moose, I tell you, we're at the about the 7:30 break. If we could take a quick Pop-Tart break, and I want to hear that that video that you have, not the video, but the ad, Walls Could Talk, because I'm going to be segueing into that shortly. So I want everybody to be refreshed on that. So we'll be back. If I'm going to take it, bump it over to you, and you take us out.
Yes, sir. Tonight's Pop-Tart and commercial break is, of course, sponsored by SCVchat.com, which, if you want to find an easy way to get updates from your reunion, if you're unable to make it, see our videos, have an easy way to find Commander's comments, and, of course, find out information about the 200th episode we're celebrating at the National Reunion, please go check out SCVchat.com. And for just $10 a month, you can support us on the SCV Chat Patreon, getting exclusive content and keeping us on the air and making sure we strive to continue to make better and bigger content to get the narrative out and reclaim it 1 week at a time. And we have just introduced for, I believe, $80. This is a new one, so I don't want to get it wrong. But I believe for just, let's see here, $30 a month, I don't know where I got $80 a month, you can become a sponsor at SCV Chat. And you'll be at the commercials. Or no, that is $80. We have okay, that's an error. I'm going to have to fix that. But for $80 a month, you can become a sponsor at SCV Chat and be in front of our commercial breaks. It will be a lot better than this one, let me tell you. Mm-hmm. But we'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Let's see if I can get through it a bit better this time. Of course, that commercial break is sponsored by SCVchat.com, where you can get insights into SCV Chat and some of the things we are doing, and our SCV Chat Patreon. For just $10 a month, you become a member, get exclusive content, and have the knowledge that you're keeping us on the air, as well as providing us new ways to make even better content. And for just $80 a month, you become a sponsor on our show and be mentioned every commercial break.
Okay, now is it my turn? Can I talk now? All right, thank you. That was there's a little bit of reasoning for me wanting that. Be sure everybody hear that that ad, because I'm going to talk about that here in a few minutes. But first, I want Ron. He hadn't said enough tonight. He's been real quiet, so we go get him on. We may have to poke him a little bit. I got an old fire poke. I can poke him here if he tries to go to sleep and get quiet. But I want him to bring us up to speed on what's going on with the 21st Century Confederate Heroes, because that organization, that group, and that effort has meant a lot for us getting to where we are right now. So, Ron, take over.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank everyone who's already a member. And Donald, it's the 21st Century Confederate Heroes campaign. So he's trying to make it a group or an organization. It's a campaign within the SCV, and we're we are liquidating debt. And one thing, as long as the Kennedy twins are around, we're going to make sure that a voice will be heard in the negative anytime once we get all this debt paid off, that it ain't going to happen again. We're not going to be in a situation again where all of our resources are going to pay interest and principal on a debt. And here we are, people are taking down, the enemies are taking down our monuments and removing the names of legitimate parks and military bases, and we don't have the wherewithal to make a loud protest and to rally the troops, as it were, in a social political sense, not a military sense, to rally the people to defend our heritage. That's not going to happen anymore, but we are still in the effort. I wanted to tell everyone that this little pamphlet that you see me holding, of course, I got RK up on mine, so I've got it marked out. I don't want to give this away, but there'll be one in every bag that they give out at the reunion. I wanted to make sure we got them all out. I don't think we've got any left. And the reason is because in the pamphlet, it tells you all about the 21st Century Confederate Heroes. Tells you why we need it, tells you what you get as a member when you join up to contribute to it. But part of it says, currently the SCV is paying a monthly mortgage note for the National Confederate Museum. That money that could have been spent for a PR campaign was going to pay this mortgage note. Well, guess what? Since we had this printed up, that note has been liquidated. That is just wonderful. And this 21st century is a key part. This campaign is a key part of getting that. We had some real deep pockets step up and wrote some big checks once they saw that we as members were sincere and dedicated to putting this debt aside, and that we weren't going to be ever again in the position. Now, we may have to make, if there's lightning strike at Elm Springs and we got to get an emergency group in, we may have to take a short, like you would on a car note or something, but we're not going to ever be put in a situation where we have a 30-year mortgage note to pay off month by month. So now we've got the bank note taken care of. What's the other thing? We said a massive PR campaign. That's the thing that we're going to use part of this money for, the larger part of that money that we were once using to pay a bank note, but also to get the Forest Plaza back up. And Donald's going to talk about that in a little while, so I won't spend a lot of time on that. But we're about, 80%, Donald, of the money needed to restore that. And if Jason can get online, I don't know if he's going to make it or not, but past Commander-in-Chief Brochures is working on, has got some quotes, bids to repair the forest monuments, and we're ready to get started with some groundwork to get that plaza put back. That's part of the 21st Century Confederate Heroes. We get that done. We also have the Brooks Fund that we owe ourselves, but we still have to pay it just like anything else. But we don't have to worry about being, we're not going to repossess ourselves. We're going to pay it off. But and if we did nothing, I think 20 years it'll be paid off. But we want to get it paid off so the next Commander-in-Chief can stand up and tear that mortgage note up completely, and it's done. That's the 21st century. Now we get that Brooks Fund paid off, you're going to really see some money available to do PR work. So that's the 21st century. If your camp, brigade meeting, division meeting, if you want the Commander-in-Chief or myself to come talk to you about this, and we're going to print up some new pamphlets that reflect the fact that we paid off one of the big notes, and we'll be glad to do that. You want me to talk about the Heritage Medal, Donald?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We've got about 15, 20 minutes left.
All right. Paul Gremlin, myself, and the Commander-in-Chief, we were sort of disappointed that the Heritage Medal, I think we got one that was a person to receive the Heritage Medal. That's a shame because we've got a lot of people doing a lot of work. So we want to make sure that that we get these medals out. And so we've changed it yet again to try to make it easier. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing. We're going to give this out, the new procedure. And really, it's very simple. You have to do at least one-click politics when we send that out. And then you've got your choice of one or two other things you can do, including, and that is attending the Confederate Legion training session. So that's also in it. So, and you don't have to, you can fill it out. Harrison can fill it out for himself. There's a form that he fills out, and the Commander-in-Chief or the commander of the camp or the camp's designee will fill it out, sign it, and send it to the Chief of Heritage Operations, who will then take care of it. Next year, we want to see a couple of hundred, if not 1,000 of these medals given out. Why? Because our people deserve it. They deserve to be recognized, and it's a way of encouraging them to actually get involved. Now, listen, this medal is not for cleaning tombstones. It's for heritage promotion. But just like the commander said earlier, we clean tombstones almost on a monthly basis. Get a picture of it and email it or snail mail it if you don't have an email to a couple of people. You don't have to send it to every elected official. It'd be good if you would. You don't have to give it to every local agent of influence, such as pastors and priests in the local area, such as the Kiwanis Club chair, president, et cetera, et cetera. Send that out. That's the way you promote the heritage. We preserve the heritage by cleaning the tombstone. We promote the heritage by telling the world about it. And that's what this is for. So we're looking forward to that. And let me say, and that's all I'm going to say on that. We're going to talk more about it at the Heritage Luncheon at the reunion. Also, on the Confederate Legion training session, the one coming up in September, we're also looking for venues in other areas. I'd love to do one somewhere around the northern part of Florida, so we could get Alabama and Georgia area people coming in. So if you know of a venue that, and if you have a camp or brigade that would like to sponsor, or a division that would like to sponsor it, get in touch with the Chief of Heritage Operation or the Commander-in-Chief. We would love to line something up. We need something up in Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky area. So we want to do this all around. And the last thing I have, Donald, is the Dixie Defenders. We're going to be giving some Dixie Defenders out at the reunion. This is an opportunity for your camp to order these Dixie Defenders. As long as we have people joining the Confederate Legion, we have money, the Confederate Legion will help you with it. We can't pay for it. I just had a camp, I think it's in North Carolina, that ordered 200 of them, and the Confederate Legion helped them by paying for the shipping and a little bit extra. So they are available. They are great to give out at gun shows, heritage festival, or just regular flea markets or whatever. They're great to give out. A good way of getting your message out. And the other thing on the Dixie Defender, this is something I want to challenge, and I'll be talking about this at the reunion, is that in every Army, Trans-Mississippi, Army of Tennessee, Army of Northern Virginia, the first camp that comes with us in each one, so there's 3 camps that will do a special edition for their area, or Dixie Defender talking about their Confederate activity in their area, the families that fought in their areas. If you had battles in your area, that's fine. We want to make the Dixie Defender about, say, St. Tammany Parish, so we can give it out at the flea markets at St. Tammany Parish in the, quote, Civil War. I hate that term. That's a disgusting term, but that's what the general public would recognize. And we can give it out. Once they take our information, we'll straighten them out on the inside. So, but okay. The first 3 now, so if you come in late, I know there's one in the Army of Trans-Mississippi that's supposed to be ready to do one. So, but Donald, you want to say something about that? You'd like to?
No, I'm telling you, we're running out of money, and I got a few other things I'd like to say.
All right, well, that's it for me.
Okay, good. Now, one of the things Ron was talking about, the 21st century Confederate heroes and the paying off the debts. Now, since we've got that money now that was going to the banknote available, we've got a new budget coming out, and if the convention or the reunion adopts this budget that is being proposed, we will be able to now put that museum open essentially every Saturday. Instead of having it just maybe once a month or once every other month, we can have it every Saturday or close to it. So that is because of what y'all have done with the 21st century Confederate heroes. So I want to just get that out. And right now, Moose, if you would mind throwing up that ad that we had up. Now, this ad here, I am working with, and he's working with me, Lieutenant Commander Tony Griffin, and we're looking at trying to get this ad, full page color ad in some periodicals, conservative leaning, so they don't like the wokeness that's going on in America, and we're promoting the National Confederate Museum. Now, why don't we just put an ad on there saying, join the Sons of Confederate Veterans, we're unwoke too? Well, because sometimes it's easier to get an ad for a museum than it is for an organization. Now, so we're sponsoring, we're trying to run ads for the Confederate Museum, National Confederate Museum, and it clearly states where liberal wokeness dies, and you can read everything that's on there, and it clearly states that this museum is owned and operated by the Sons of Confederate Veterans. Now, if you look at the QR code down there in the right lower corner, that is our Walls Could Talk video that y'all heard earlier. So people all around the country that sees these ads will they'll look at that video, they'll know more about who we are. It makes it easier for us to fight the enemy. We are becoming a well-known organization. We will recruit members like this. So Lieutenant Commander Griffin and I are currently working on that. We hope to have this ad paid for before the end of July, and it should show up shortly. So it's one of those national ads. And one other thing we're doing is Adam Southern and the people at headquarters, we're looking to get a billboard in the Nashville area that's going to be a permanent billboard advertising again the National Confederate Museum. Of course, it's put on there by the Sons of Confederate Veterans, and have people come to our museum. Now, I'm going to ask Ron, why is it important to have one billboard just in Nashville instead of one all the way across the Confederation? Number one, we can't afford it, but what's the purpose of Nashville? What's the idea of Nashville?
Well, of course, Nashville is a great tourist draw. So you've got a lot of people coming to Nashville. They like country and Western music, even Taylor Swift fans, if you call that country and Western music. But people coming to Nashville who will see that. And so they'll see that and they say, well, let's go check that out. Let's go down. I don't have anything else to do this morning. Let's drive down to Columbia and see the museum. The other thing, which is equally as important, is the fact that Nashville has become sort of the hub of a lot of people who have left California and left New York. They're conservative podcasters like the Daily Wire and that group, and they're there in Nashville. So we want them to know who we are. We want them to see it and say, let's go down and take that out. Let's check that out down there. Because remember, our aim in getting the narrative and putting our story out is that we want those kind of people to come to us. Now, when we go knock on their door right now, they don't know who we are. But they will know. And once it's like that. Once the camel gets his nose in the tent, the humps are soon following.
There you go. So both of these efforts that Tony and I are working on, and that Adam and the people there at headquarters, I've commissioned him to take a good, strong look at that. What we're doing is trying to get our name into a national audience. Granted, Nashville is local. I saw somebody said, put one in Orange Beach. Well, that's good. But we need something. You can't advertise the Confederate Museum in Orange Beach. You could advertise the Sons of Confederate Veterans, but that might not get what we really want. So one day when we get the Brooks Fund paid for, we can afford to put it at Orange Beach and at Myrtle Beach and everywhere else. But we've got to keep working. We've got to keep growing. So the Nashville billboard campaign, Lieutenant Commander Griffin is doing with his campaign, I think we're going to have some really good results. And I see we have the distinguished past Commander-in-Chief Jason Broshears. He showed up with 6 minutes left. And so, Jason, if you don't mind, just give us a quick 5-minute update on what's going on with the Forest Plaza and the Forest Equestrian Monument.
Commander, I've got it scheduled for us to go over time this episode. I figured we would need a bit extra, so y'all take y'all's time.
All right. Now I won't get supper at all. Between Jason and Ron, you and I are going to be here, son.
Don't tell me I'm turning into a Kennedy. Am I turning into a Kennedy here? Commander, thank you for allowing me to come on, and I apologize for being so long. I'm a board member for the Sam Davis Home, and we had our Sam Davis Home board meeting tonight. As y'all know, and as y'all have talked very much about, we have to be involved. You can't just sit back and let everybody else handle it. You have to get out there and you have to get involved yourself. I got off just a few moments ago, put a tie and a coat on, and here I am, because I wanted to respect Commander's comments. Now, if I had my 21st Century Confederate neck ribbon handy, then I could be lounging back like a certain Ron Kennedy is doing now. Thank you, Commander. I'll make this as brief because I know y'all have other business to take care of. I will touch on this, what you were saying about the billboards in Nashville. There has been a concerted effort, a concerted conversation with Tennessee Division Commander John Blankenship about putting billboards out and to get them there. So yes, and whereas Rich Garcia come on, they're working on a Confederate history brochure. So we're going to be getting, and we support putting one in Nashville because that's a tourist destination and that points everybody to where we are.
Good.
I'll go ahead, and you asked for me to come on to give a brief update on the reconstruction or the resurrection of the Forest Equestrian Plaza. What I will call it is this, the Forest Last Ride Committee. The Forest Last Ride Committee is, we have the two great-great-grandsons of Nathan Bedford Forrest on there, Sid Law and Kevin Bradley. Both, if you know our history, you know that Nathan Bedford Forrest's son worked with Charles Henry Niehaus and the Ladies Memorial Association, the Forest Memorial Association, and the UDC in construction of the original plaza. So it only seemed fitting to have descendants of Forrest on this committee. So his two great-great-grandsons are on this committee, along with Ed Phillips. I think a lot of people know Ed Phillips. He was the attorney for the Forrest family, and it doesn't hurt to have an attorney in your back pocket when you need one. You know, they're kind of like a pocket knife. If you don't need them, okay, but if you do need them, they sure are handy to have, you know. And Lee Miller with Camp 215 in Memphis was so instrumental in getting everything from Memphis to us. And of course, our commander-in-chief is on the committee. And of course, our executive director, Adam Southern, is also on the committee. We have been tasked with the complete reconstruction of the Forest Plaza as it originally was. It was originally designed by Charles Henry Niehaus and the people that I mentioned earlier. What we met last night, no, 2 nights ago, Tuesday night, excuse me.
Tuesday.
I went to church last night, so
Yeah.
forgive me. So we met on Tuesday night because we broke this down into several different phases. Phase number 1 is the repair of the equestrian statue. And we worked to get 3 bids for the equestrian statue. And folks, it takes time to get quality people there to give us the bids. We did have some people that have contacted, hey, we would like to work on it. A little Google search and Facebook, you know, social media look, go, maybe not. But we did locate 3 good, reputable organizations that we have worked with or we have seen their work. And we got them to come and give us bids. The committee met, and all of the committee that I have mentioned, they were present. All of the committee was present. And we talked about it, discussed it. Our duty, as I felt it as the committee chair, and thank you, Commander Kennedy, for appointing this. This is a very humbling job, a humbling task that you've asked me to do. And I take it with sincerity because I feel like one day I'm going to have to answer for this in Judgment Day. Have I done this man correct? Because one of the things we can do, people who have gone on, who are no longer on this earth, people who can't defend themselves, it is our job to defend them.
Right.
And that is the reason why I'm so humbled to be asked to do this. So we met. We have, and our duty, as I said, it was to break them down, not because the GEC, the General Executive Council of the Sons of Confederate Veterans, has the final say-so on who gets the bid to do the work. It was the duty of the Forest Last Ride Committee to get the necessary amount of bids, to evaluate them, and to make recommendations to the General Executive Council and rank them from our most important down, one we felt was the best. And we did that. We have ranked them. I feel very good about who we chose as our number 1 recommendation. Commander Kennedy was there as well. And if he wishes to elaborate on them, I wish for him to. But the committee met, the committee has done this, and Commander Kennedy has asked this to be presented to the General Executive Council at the pre-reunion meeting on Wednesday. And the General Executive Council will take a vote on who gets the job, to be polite, who's going to get to do the job. The Forest Last Ride Committee, their job was to get the bids and evaluate them. One thing that I am very, very proud of with the bid that the Forest Last Ride recommends is the 3D imaging, because that did include the 3D imaging. I'll go ahead and give all of y'all a little bit of information about it. We had the equestrian statue looked at. The bronze is of extremely high quality. It is the person that evaluated. I want to make sure it's not junk, that if I have to work on it, it's going to take a lot to do it, because depending on what you hit it with is how it lights up. And there was no sparking. It was just a pure white light. And he said that proves that it is extremely high quality bronze. So it is the best quality that it could be. The next question was, if something happened to this equestrian statue, what would it cost to replace it? We got 3 bids. 2 people I talked very specifically about. Both of them said it would cost in excess of $300,000 to make that plaza now. To make the equestrian statue now. So you're looking at $300,000. So if we do the 3D imaging of it, and I'm not worried about vandalism. What I'm worried about is Middle Tennessee weather. Here at my house, I have had 4 tornadoes within 5 miles of my house this year. I'm worried about one that's going to go ripping through there and would cause damage to the statue, to the plaza. If we have an exact replica of it, and that's what the 3D imaging will do, the 3D imaging will give us an exact replica. So if we had to reproduce it, we could reproduce it. Let's hope that never happens. Yeah. But another option it gives us is we are able to make miniatures, and we're able to produce these miniatures and sell them, because all 3 that we have talked to have told us the same thing. The equestrian statue needs maintenance. It has not had a lot of maintenance done on it. It needs maintenance. They tell us once we get it and we do this work that we're going to need to wax it. And about every 2 to 3 years, it's going to have to be re-waxed again. This will protect it. This will keep, there's certain birds going through the air that make deposits. And it makes all of that stuff go away easier without any staining, without anything like that. If it happens to get any mold or anything on it, it's going to come off very clean. So we don't, so we're going to have to wax it and to maintain it. So we're going to, and one of the things that I have tasked Lee Miller with is to find the price on how much it would be for us to reproduce these miniatures. I've always, as a younger man, I dealt with the miniatures in 1/24 scale, 1/64. When they create these, they create them in inches, 3.5, 6, 10. So we're going to get a price breakdown on those. So hopefully we will have those. That's the intent, is to have those at National Reunion to tell you what the miniatures are going to cost to reproduce, with the sale of those going toward the maintenance of the equestrian plaza. So when you buy one of these, you are actually protecting the equestrian plaza well into the future. I hope that I have explained this, Commander, and I hope I have not taken up too much time.
Well, I do want you to go in now. We're talking about the equestrian statue right now. Just quickly tell us about, because the next phase is going to be the groundwork and putting everything back together. Where are we now there on that project?
Okay. We have yet to hear from the architect. We were supposed to get CAD drawings of it. That did not come to fruition. So we have had to work with an architect. An architect has been working with a structural engineer on plans of how to put all of this back up, how it's supposed to be. The issues that reason why we're in such a conversation with the structural engineer is, as you know, this thing's going to be 50 feet deep, 75 feet wide. The concrete pad is going to have to support and distribute the weight out across all of that. And
How
it's
much
going
weight?
Sir?
Tell them how much weight that's going to support.
The pedestal itself is 10,500 pounds. The equestrian statue on top of that is 5,000 pounds. You're looking at 15,500 pounds that's going to be sitting there in the center. And remember, to the top of Forest Head, he's going to be 21 feet in the air.
Yep.
So he is going to be in an imposing structure on top of that hillside, especially when we get the lighting and everything else as it was originally designed. But you're looking at distributing that weight out. Now, once we get the drawings, we have already talked to, or I have, 5 different companies asking them to give bids. Now, 5 have agreed that they would be giving us a bid, but they want the drawings and they want to see them digitally. They don't want me to bring out a piece of paper and show it to them, because we're going to have to send them to it digitally, and then they're going to evaluate and give a bid accordingly. In the scope of work that we have laid out because of what we're doing, we're going to have to go before the City of Columbia, because this is going to be a permit. It is going to have to be inspected, because this isn't quite an imposing structure that we're going to have there. So we're going to have to work through the city to get it done. The structural engineers, there already been some talk about what we're going to do with the groundwork underneath there, because if you'll remember what happened in Memphis, there was water that got into the vaults. As you know, we've got brand new vaults. They're in brand new sealed vaults. They're in brand new coffins. You don't have to worry about that. But we have to do something about keeping the water from coming in where it's sitting on top of that hill with the slope. We're going to have to do something with all of that water to get the water to disperse so nothing comes underneath and starts to erode anything that we're doing on the plaza itself. So that's where you're looking at French drains, you're looking at underground piping to get everything. And if you've been there, you know the slope that we have. So we're going to have to slope that hill to do something with the water. We have to take into consideration the historical artifacts that are already there. Simeon Cummins gravesite, the Looney family cemetery, a beautiful antebellum home by the name of Elm Springs. And then we have to deal with, when we started to dig the graves for Nathan Bedford Forrest, the first grave we dug, we got down about 3 feet and we hit the fire pit for the bricks for the house. So the decision was made at that moment to move the graves. So we're going to have to work around this fire pit for the bricks for the house, because that tells the story of the house, and that's going to be interpreted as this. When this gets finished and we're finished with all of that, we'll do the interpretation of that site. So we have to take every bit of that into consideration. So once we get the architectural drawings, they will be going out. We'll be receiving bids. We will be bringing people on site. I have talked to a couple of SCV members that are local, that are retired engineers that we can have on site, and they have agreed to come on and to kind of eyeball this and make sure that we're doing everything that we need to be doing. So, yes. Is there any more? Did I cover all of that?
That covers it great. I just want to get our members just a flavor of what's going on, and we'll no doubt cover more at the reunion. And so this is another reason why y'all need to show up at the reunion. And we got some reports that will be made, and Commander, you will definitely be one of them, telling us what's going on there. So
And I
Well-
saw the gentleman that got on here and asked about taking advantage of our heritage and our ancestors. Believe me, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's just no way that's going to happen. You've got myself on there. You've got our current commander in chief on there. You've got the executive director. You have the two great grandsons of Nathan Bedford Forrest. And believe me, they're just as equal fire eaters as he was. So there's not going to be any advantage taken to the organization. Everything will be done with respect and with dignity.
And we will pay as we go. We will not go into debt, as Ron has promised. And the money is coming. Thank God for the membership who have bellied up to the table and laid their cards on the table and said, look, this is what we've got and we want to share. Thank God that I don't care if it was $5 or $50,000. I don't care if it was $20 or $20 million. We appreciate everything that people have done. Listen, I can't overemphasize. It is the membership who came forward, nickels and dimes, and joined the 21st Century Confederate Heroes effort. That this is campaign, excuse me, Ron. This is what has made this possible and really begin to roll and be put together. We have the funds coming in for this. We do need to continue the 21st Century, need more camps to join, more individuals to join, because we want to pay down and eventually pay off that Brooks Fund note. And like I said, if this proposed budget that I've seen, if we can pass that at this coming convention or reunion, we will begin the process of what Ron was talking about earlier, a massive PR, public relation campaign, an effort where we give our side of the story. And when some idiot like Victor David Hanson, BD Hanson, gets on TV and says all those ugly things about them wicked old Confederates, we'll have the means to blast it right back in that sucker's face. And he's not the only one. And unfortunately, I agree with probably 90% of what the gentleman says. But when he gets to talking about the South, about the Civil War and Lincoln freeing the slaves and all those wicked Confederates fighting promoting treason and slavery, that's when he gets on my bad side. So we need to be able to answer those folks. And if we continue with the way we're doing, if we continue this process, continue working with the Confederate Legion, continue joining and encouraging people to join the 21st Century Confederate Heroes campaign, we will be able to do this and much more. Ron, you got a statement.
All right, just very quickly, I want to, again, we mentioned this early on, but everyone who's attending the reunion, be sure, and you're a member of the 21st Century, make sure you're wearing your medal, wear it proudly. And also, at the camp meetings that I've addressed over the last really year, people have shown up with their medal on. Wear your medal to your meetings. Also tell them about the streamers and presenting them at the reunion.
Yes, if your SCV camp is a member of the Confederate Legion and you have not already received your streamer for your camp flag, we need to find out. We need to identify you, and we will present this to you, your camp at the reunion. I want to recognize every camp that's already a member of the Confederate Legion and has their streamers, camp flag streamers, and then also to present to those who are Confederate Legion members that have not received their flag stream. We want to get that to them. So that was good news that I got from headquarters just recently, that they finally came in. So let's get that going, and I'm looking forward to that. Now with that, we've gone 15 minutes over. Ron, you have one quick thing?
No, I was just going to say, if those streamers came in, are the benches coming in too?
I'm sure the benches are right behind there, Ron.
Actually, if you'd like for me to touch on that, there's going to be some coming in very soon, but our first order of bricks and pavers They're going to be coming in tomorrow. Talked with RNL carriers today. They're going to be coming in. I talked to the bench gentleman the other day because we had somebody order one. And I said, hey, I've got 5 I'm waiting on. And he said, I've got a couple of them here that I'm working on now.
Well, that's
So-
good news. Good
Yeah.
news.
Yes, and I know the Kennedys is one of them. I hate to ask that.
Donald, I did get, and this is a text from Paul Graham. He said that he got in from work and had an emergency, had to take his cat to the emergency room, the veterinary emergency room. And that's why he didn't. And so that's why he's not on tonight.
Well, you know, I'm gonna laugh at him about worried about a cat, but if it was my puppy dog, y'all wouldn't be seeing me on here either.
If it was my cat, I wouldn't be here. I'll guarantee you.
Yeah, because your wife would see to it you got that cat to the bed. Okay, enough, gentlemen. I really enjoyed this, and Jason, thank you for coming on. Michael Hurley was on earlier, so we've got everybody taken care of, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody in Houston. And with that said, enough said. Harrison Dawes, will you please take us out, sir?
Yes, sir. I ask everybody, please remember to share this episode out to your camps, brigades, divisions, anybody you know in the South. Let's try to get this episode shared out frequently. And remember, we will not be having an episode next Monday because we are going to be getting ready for the national reunion, but we'll be going live plenty during the week, as well as Thursday. You will still have your weekly episode of SCV Chat. So thank y'all all for tuning in. We would like to thank our sponsors calling across the screen, and remember to stay Southern. Good night, everybody.
Good night.